All right, so here I have a song that is a strong contrast to the previous one, and it's interesting because it kind of shows the different. It's about relationships the same way, but instead of like this breakup song, this is very much the ideal that you're looking for. It's people that are being content with what they have, and the effort and the work that they put forth is um, it's for one another. So it's like uh, it's it's just the opposite. Instead of people looking to upgrade, which is kind of the big problem today. It's like, what if you learn to be content with what you have? And unfortunately, the sad thing is that I think there probably are a lot of people that would love to have that experience, and they're having a hard time finding that. But well, I don't know. What do we do but create more awareness on the internet that ladies, men will work hard for you if you want to take care of them, and they won't even complain if the food is burnt if you don't leave them. So, yeah, here we go. Long intro.
Crack of dawn, I hit the road. Set my shoulders for the heavy load. Coffee leaking through the paper sack.
So, crack of dawn, hit the road, set my shoulders for the heavy load, coffee leaking through the paper sack. So, same. The other one, last song, wakes up at 4 a.m. This is, well, this crack of dawn, he's already hitting the road. He's been up, he's getting ready to go. He's got his coffee, he's doing what he needs to do.
The foreman says I'm late again. He can't stand it when I only grin. He's got me 8 hours. She's got me after that.
So Foreman's saying he's late. He can't stand it when he only grins. He's got me at 8 hours. She's got me after that. So he's saying like it's these relationships are understood. The boss isn't going to fire him for being late because he knows that he's not going anywhere. He's going to keep showing up. If he's late, he's still going to keep showing up. He's committed to this job, and the foreman probably can't replace him that easily with somebody who's as committed to that. If you're willing to get up at the crack of dawn and all that, and sometimes you're a little bit late, um, showing up every day is the most important thing. I can't stand being late. Honestly, it's like one of my big paranoias. So, but I get it. Yeah, I will be more than happy if I much would rather somebody come in late than not come in at all. So that's you know that's just the way it goes. Uh, he's got me 8 hours. She's got me out of that. So it's saying like you make a commitment to your job or whatever. Hey, I will be here for 8 hours, but that's that's the it's a contractual agreement. That I will give this much to my work, but you're not a slave to work. And does this it's not the capitalist like dream or whatever, but I think there's something to be said for that. There's a lot of there's rhythms to work and to rest that you have when you get into a place of security. So that's part of what's afforded by a situation like this.
I can't wait till it's quitting time. She got something cooking for me tonight. She keeps the home fires burning.
So, this is like one of these things where it's metaphorical, I think, a little bit, she keeps the home fires burning. Obviously, nobody has like a place that needs to be stoked all day, but that's just saying like it's like the Proverbs 31 thing. The ideal woman is a woman who, while her husband's out working, she's doing all sorts of stuff to be busy and productive, And what you get out of this is that they're doing it for each other. He's going to work and dealing with this boss, and he does all this boring, repetitive stuff probably because he loves his wife. She's taking care of the house, making sure everything's all set for him when he gets home. Not for herself, not because she enjoys it, but she's doing it as an act of love, service to her husband. So.
But I'm out earning, living in a world that's known for its pouring rain. She keeps the home fires burning. Ooh, and it's her warm loving that keeps me returning again.
So, while he's out earning a living in the world that's known for its pouring rain. If you think about that other song, the "You'll Think of Me" or whatever. We always use these metaphors of like the imagery is dark, the weather is bad, and like we're thinking like this is synonymous with like sadness and depression and all this stuff. But if you have a source of rejuvenation, you have a home that replenishes you, then you can go out into the outer chaos, out into the darkness and the rain, and you can gather what you need out of the world and come back safely. So that's what it affords you to have stability at home. And eventually what happens is, through this repeated action, the world is transformed. So little by little, this is the way that things get done. And, it's say like, oh, it's her warm loving that keeps me returning again and again. And for a working man and a busy people, it's like, it's not, obviously I think this is beyond just sex. This is the respect, that knowing that he's coming home and that his wife appreciates the work he's done and is thankful towards him and stuff. That's the warmth, the warmth of it. That I think, honestly, it's very hard for like an unmarried man to say that that's what he wants, but that's what we all want in marriage. That's what we're hoping for. We're hoping for somebody who loves us as we are, or as who we could be, and encourages us with that kindness. So safety, these are all things that men desire, but they can't. They have to first do the thing, go out in the world, do the work, earn their place, and then they can create the space where their wife can more or less build the home. They have to carve out the chunk of earth to live in, and then she can do the feminine thing of making it a warm and inviting place.
Out of gas, just my luck. 4-ball tires on my pickup truck. No more credit on my credit card.
That's rough. No gas, 4-ball tires on the pickup truck. No more credit on the credit card. This is like this is tough stuff. But people go through this. I've been in this situation. I've seen my parents in this situation. But there's a big difference when you are doing that and somebody says, it's okay, we'll get through this, versus being alone and being in that situation. So, but it's like, wow, that's not a fun position to be in, when you've extended yourself all the way and you're still, your means of getting to work and making a living isn't, you're not able to keep on top of it. But that's what the good part of coming home is for. So
when I come home and hit
So it is pretty amazing how like you could be physically exhausted and then a positive emotional experience, going home and being welcomed by those you love or seeing someone you love or whatever, it can actually have that physical effect of rejuvenating you. And I think this is obviously part of why it said, like God said, it's not good for the man to be alone. Um, we're always going back and forth by being away and being close to those we love, um, and we need to come back regularly. Um, we're not like we're not like camels that can store up water for a long time and go off and be in the desert. Humans don't have that capacity, so we need to regularly be returning to community, and that revives our strength even more than necessarily the rest. Is the presence of those we love.
Tomorrow it's the same old grind, but she'll be burning in my mind. She keeps the home fires burning.
And of course, the converse of this is if you think of like Solomon saying, it's better to have a dry crust of bread in the corner of the attic rather than living with a contentious wife. So it goes both ways, but this is the ideal. Obviously, is that if you have love and you have people who care about you, family, you have reasons for doing this. It makes that same old grind that he's talking about. You can endure it, because you can't endure it if it's kind of like that thing with the mouse treading water. And if it finds out that it can reach the edge of the bucket, then it will be able to like hold on for a lot longer. Like, obviously, your job should be not that depressing, but if it, if it feels that way, sometimes it does feel that way. You're just treading water, and you're gonna hold on, but knowing that there's hope out there is definitely an important thing to keep going.
Well, I'm out earning, living in a world that's known for its pouring rain. She keeps the home fires burning. Ooh, and it's her warm loving that keeps me returning again.
All right, so that's it, and it just does the chorus more times or whatever. So it's a pretty simple song, but it's just like, you know, you can't imagine like a rock band or a pop singer or like a rapper or whatever being like, you know what, I'm just gonna write a song about how it sucks when you go to work, but then it's great when you go home and your wife is there waiting for you. Like, I don't know. That's just, but it's like people need songs like that. Like a song like that actually accomplishes something in the world. It actually, this is why I keep saying like there is this kind of liturgical aspect to this country music that's missing in a lot of other genres of popular music, because you can actually see that there's like a value to having this song exist there, and the more it resonates with more people, like because what's going to be the effect of this? Like, this is even to say, if you are driving around and you're at work or something, or you're listening to music at work, and a song like this comes on, you can't disconnect your hearing of this song with the positive associations. Unless if so if you do have if you are in the middle of a day and it's not a great, it's a stressful moment or something, and you hear a song like this, it's going to redirect your mind to consider that your home life is more important than your work life, or it should be, ultimately. And obviously, I think it's gone in other songs more depth when you get to like the issue of like fatherhood and stuff like that. But it's even more compounded, because then you're not just you're not just doing this for that one person, but for the next generation of people. But also, just man, it's a good thing to think about, like the imagery of this song. And it's it's probably a little cheesy, it's a little corny, it's an old-fashioned song, but just like people and relationships are made for each other. So if you're not like if you're not valuing that person as like that's the reason why you do what you do. It's not for your own enjoyment. It's for their benefit. And sometimes that means that what you're contributing is not it's the same thing like in the previous song we talked about, like his only blessing was he didn't know what could have been or what should have been. Well, if you take that attitude of not having necessarily strong expectations into a relationship, but you bring it with a high level of commitment, then instead of like so if you have high expectations and you go into a relationship and your expectations are unrealistic, you're going to be continually disappointed. But if you go into a relationship without high expectations, or with a openness to just trying to focus on the other person, make their life better, instead of them being like the thing you need, you serve them. And then what comes of that is that you're continuously surprised by how blessed you are and how much good stuff happens in your life and your relationship. So anyway, it's a good song. It's a nice little positive change of pace from some of the other stuff you will hear on the radio. So thanks for listening.